The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall continue to follow me all the days of my life. I will dwell in the house of the most super intelligent power, source, and force of love and creation forever. What's happening? Benton here. Just rolled out the truck stop. 3 a.m. Eastern. 10 a.m. delivery. 360 miles to the drop. What did I title this stream? Of consciousness. Woo. Big old pothole already. Already fighting the potholes. Power and meaning. Yes. Power and meaning. Where and how? On what basis? On behalf of whom or what? In what context? That's right, folks. Question everything, says the realm. Okay. There's the coffee. That's the question. Coffee is for closers. Well, before we get into the discoursing, I think I finally figured out where to take some so-called home time. Not that old Benton has a home, certainly not in this vacuous, delusory, adversarial realm of business transactions. World of death, game of life. Certainly not. But yeah, Knoxville, Tennessee has a Whole Foods with an Amazon counter where I can have my supplies shipped to. And they also have truck stops not too far away. Now, will the company manage to steer me over there within the next few weeks? Let's see. We will find out the royal we, that is. I realize now I bit into a pistachio somewhat foolishly on the side of my mouth with a broken tooth. I don't know that I broke the tooth any further, but I've been quite fortunate to experience little to no pain with this broken tooth, but she's hurting a little bit today. I don't know. I don't know if we aggravated something or what. Broken it a little more. Gonna have to go to the point, I suppose, unavoidably, right? Had a crazy person come out of nowhere and probably was hoping to get into some kind of accident with a big rig. So That was what the silence was all about. Figuring out exactly what was going on there. I won't say dismayed, but a bit disappointed in myself. For you ever know what you're doing, and you still it's a bad idea, and you do it anyway. The royal you, one, the listener, surely not the listener of this fine YouTube channel, pontification, entertainment, so called, not amounting to hill of beans, whatever that means. What a strange expression. Also reminding myself that I spent enough time in California, who would have happily, the state of California would have happily paid my dentist bill. Something about sleeping in a car, though, with no fixed address is, state of California will happily issue a Medi-Cal card, but then they won't just hand it over at the office. You got to have it mailed to you. So how to receive a letter. And I know many people have ideas. Oh, well, you just do this and you just do that. No, you don't. Unless the being has been homeless, trust me, the being has no idea what they're talking about. Oh, you just do this and you just do that. And not to criticize the audience, this is not the listener. This is a figment of my imagination. That's usually the hoarder. It's easy to do that. Of not ever being in a house with a mailbox. And then they begin to imagine what they would do in a fantasy land of living in a car or whatever. Like, trust me, no, you don't just do this and that, and then bam, there's a letter with a free health care and free dental card inside. It don't work that way. There's various homes must be wrangled and signed this time. And, oh, that person's not here this week, or well, they changed it to Tuesday. Maybe eventually get to sign up. Whoever sorts the mail, whoever's responsible for dispensing the mail, assuming the letter ever actually comes, well, they will either be capable of locating it and forking it over, or they won't, or they might choose not to, or they might not feel like it, or they might not like the cut of your jib. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. And of course, the bootstrappers will say, oh, you got to go out there and serve dystopia and earn your care. Okay. Sure. We'll get right on that. We'll get right on that. I don't know what this going to cost. A couple of G's, probably. A couple of Gur. Oh, well, it's only money. Can't take it with you, ha, ha, ha. As they say. But yeah, it's mainly more than the money or the inconvenience. And then dealing with dentists, just the idea of knowing not to bite down on a pistachio, even eating pistachios in the first place. In fact, usually I put them on the cutting board and smash them up with a hammer. to avoid this and got lazy. But I think probably it'll just stop hurting in a day or two. It's not like it's the first time it's ever hurt before. Just keep the iodine on it. Let it work itself out. Probably be okay. That's the healing, sir. The pain is the healing, right? What was I on about before then? Oh, yeah, home time, so-called. Just to be able to receive Amazon packages, most of it. And to shop at Whole Foods. Whole paycheck, which increasingly has certain products are quite a bit better quality and more affordable than Wally World. And then I'm wearing but I do have a $20 hoodie on that seems to be of decent quality that I bought at Wally World, and it's a product of Chile, I think, if I'm remembering that correctly. Some country. What about them tariffs? What's all the scams? Certainly. Just like what, everything else? Scam nation. One world system of scams. Which brings us to what? Power and meaning. Power and meaning. Are we getting some younger viewers? Now I'm wondering what I'm doing to turn the people off. Just curious. We got up to 5 and now we're back down to 2, which is okay, but oh, down to 2. Probably breaking up. Are we borging? Are we borging? You have been assimilated. Let's see. Let's see. But I'm wondering if the old fogeying is running them off, perhaps. Yeah, nobody wants to listen to an old fogey. I get it. Understood. Doing an internet speed test. Yeah, we're good on the internet for now. Yeah, streamer fail. Oh, well. Now we have the freedom. What do they say? Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. I'll talk to my one listener. And I'll fuck right off. Pressure's off. 5 of them rushed in and said, boy, we heard the word about this Benton. We heard there might be something there. And they rushed in and said, well, I guess not today. Maybe we'll come back another time. Maybe he'll be a little more with it. Old man yells at cloud. But then again, like we've said, none of this is going to amount to anything that really matter anyway. It's not like old Benton has answers, right? It's not like old Benton has a certain unique way of looking at things and putting together a narrative or a discourse. I don't know that narrative would be the correct term. Yeah, it's not like that's a thing. And my favorite, I hate to break it to you, Benton. We've heard all this before. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. Bits and pieces, sure. Not in this form. So yes, power and meaning. Where, how, on what basis, in service of what, in the context of vacuous, which means what? Oh, there he is with the big words again. Empty or void. Right. So a realm described accurately. So when referencing void or emptiness, well, that's an acknowledgement of the reality of the realm itself suffers a lack of meaning, and it makes that lack your problem, because the best defense is a good offense, and that's not a defensible position for a realm. How can a realm possibly go onto the back foot in a spiritual war and defend the idea of lack of meaning? Can't. So it assumes an exalted position of, well, of course there's meaning to be found here. Are you crazy? And it gaslights, and it attacks, and it accuses. And the NPC normie horde rushes in everywhere to normalize, because that's what it does. And it will even normalize your seeming inability to grasp meaning where it can never exist. There cannot be meaning here. And they say, what do you mean, Benton? That sounds like nihilism. Well, if it does, then the being clearly doesn't understand or comprehend nihilism, and the being is not following along contextually. And how is that my problem? When Benton properly works with and conceptualizes and applies context properly, why are you making it my problem? Oh, that's because that's what the realm does. The realm seeks to make its own lack of meaning my problem in the forming of a weapon. And then the NPC normie horde watches this and mimics it. It says, well, Benton, that sounds like nihilism. Well, that's because you're a fucking dumb bozo. Have you ever considered a listener? And again, I don't really mean listener. This is sort of a royal thought experiment. Like whoever I'm addressing. It's not meant to insult the listener. But when does the listener stop long enough to consider maybe the listener's a fucking bozo moron, right? Have they considered that possibility? Is it possible that the person who would ask the question and just immediately reflexively say, well, that sounds like such and such? Well, have you considered such and sucher that you yourself may be a fucking bozo moron? Is that possible in this context? In the context of a discussion of meaning, where, how, on what basis, in service of what, in service of whom, in what context? Because your discourser, your friendly neighborhood discourser, is seeking to answer those questions, perhaps. I would assert that's quite the undertaking. It's quite the would be quite the accomplishment. Can we not agree on that? Common ground. See, wouldn't that be something to seek to answer such a question? Or can I get through halfway through my second sentence before parts of my own imagination start having conversations with other parts, after having a pattern recognized so many people's reactions of, well, that sounds like. Well, is the listener a child seeking to, a child on the floor? There's some blocks, there's some tinker toys, maybe there's some Legos, and just sort of picking things up and looking at them. Well, this block looks kind of like that block, but here's a Lego, and over there's some tinker toys. Yeah, Benton's gonna take all of it and levitate it all up into the air, metaphorically and abstractly, and he's going to just sort of move it all around and arrange it in a fascinating fashion. Except the peanut gallery, the first block levitates a quarter of an inch off of the ground, and as soon as that happens, they're like, well, that seems like this thing. Oh, okay. Are we just looking at things and pointing at them and just blurting out characteristics? I love lamb. Oh, okay. Are you just randomly looking around the room and seeking to identify just with whatever may be observable? Like, what is this? Who responds that way? Really, it's the responder. See, because the responder is not disciplining themselves long enough to experience the response, observe the response, critique the response, and categorize the response and say, well, wait a minute, is that a wholly appropriate response? And is this the type of person who's likely to entertain such a? Oh, but maybe he's experienced trauma. Maybe he's a boomer bozo. Maybe he's triggerable. And maybe he was. Maybe he has been traumatized. Maybe he was a triggerable boomer bozo. Guess what? Not anymore, baby. Not anymore. Woo! Praise Almighty, air quotes, so-called God in the mighty name of Christ Jesus. Jesus Christ is Lord. Because old Benton done ascended, cheer the level up, unlocking the achievement within the game of death, the world of death and the game of lies, having unlocked the achievement of true knowledge of self / self-realization. Oh, them days is over, Jack. Good luck triggering this one. Demons, do your worst. See? Oh, maybe we can get him to spaz out. Yeah, if the being hasn't completely or nearly completely resolved their trauma, guess who gets the most traumatized in this place? Oh, it happens to be the beings who have the greatest potential to what? Threaten Moloch's machine. Yeah, to threaten Moloch's machine. So surprise, surprise, old Benton. This realm that makes an enemy of what I am, it set its sights on old Benton from day one, Jack. Make no mistake, from day one. See? Not supported. See? Not encouraged. Right? In fact, hemmed up, uh, preyed upon, right? Attacked, foiled, uh, made sport of, right? From day motherfucking one. Have you considered my servant Job? Have you considered my servant Job? I am that one. Now, whether or not the listener is that one, that's up to them. Old Benton don't have a dog in that hunt because meaning can never be a team sport at the level of what? Serving anything other than evil, wickedness, Satan, antithesis, death, depravity, destruction. Now, if you want to serve death, if you want to love death, then yeah, there's many teams to join. There's many herds to hang out in. There's many ways to be accepted at the level of status quo, social contract, and peer groups. Absolutely, there is. There's many organizations. Now, what level of meaning is to be found there? It's called animated death, death warmed over. It's called lack of meaning, dressed up as meaning. And at a consensus level, oh, well, there's a bunch of bozos who will individually and collectively sign off on and assist in crafting your own unique fucking snowflake graven image to uphold before Moloch within the context of Moloch's machine. Yeah, there's many who will call that meaning. I call that death. I call that defeat, right? I call that to refuse rebelliously to bring forth the fruit of what I am. Have you considered my servant Job? Take a good look at old Job over there. And most of you, the fact is, most of you ain't worthy of a have you considered my servant Job, because Satan, in the context of the book of Job, I don't know how many did he pass over on his way to present himself before the Lord. See, now he's looking for a mighty fine specimen. He's looking for the best and the brightest. He's looking for the baddest spiritual warrior in the land. He's working big to small, y'all. His garden variety, right? His run-of-the-mill snares and traps him up most of you. See. By the time we get around to have you considered my servant Job, I see advanced course, buddy. That's mono e mono. See, that's one badass spiritual warrior seeking another badass spiritual warrior and say, let's get it on. Challenge motherfucking accepted. Challenge motherfucking accepted. That's what that is. Most of you can't hang. That's fine. And I don't even mean you. That's the royal you, see. Hey, dumbass, you're going 58, blocking in a big rig at 3 in the morning. So this is the public. So what level of spiritual snare, what level of trap needs to be prepared to hem that person up? They'll hem themselves up, right? Antithesis says, well, shit, I'll just stand over here and I'll watch them fall all over themselves. I won't have to do a thing. They'll hem themselves up. They'll throw themselves into the jaws of the devourer, right? They'll get in line, like Patrice O'Neill said. People get in line to be devoured by the beast, only to get shat out and get back in line again, get chewed up and devoured, and then shat out and get back in line again. Well, part of that I added. I think I added the shat out part, get back in line. They'll sign up for it. But see, nobody wants to feel like in the process of all this that they're doing anything wrong. So now here's a Christ, or here's a Benton. Oh, he's calling himself Christ again. That's what you say. Here's a Christ, or here's a Benton. What I am is the way, what I am is the truth, what I am is the life. Seems like the same motherfucking thing. You got a problem with it? Well, that's your problem. How's that a problem for me? My tooth's going to hurt in the short term. Either way, they're going to run me ragged truck driving. Either way. What's the fucking difference? And what's the reason for the question? Well, it's a protection mechanism in part. It's to say, well, it's a way to stop thinking. It's a way to listen just long enough to start feeling a bit disoriented and unsure and insecure. Yeah, insecure. And then to say, oh, well, that sounds like nihilism. Oh, okay. Well, then nothing to see here. I guess I'll just end the stream. We'll just, I guess I'll go find something else to do. Problem solved. Thanks. I've been told why I'm wrong. Look at how quickly and effortlessly they told me why I'm wrong. Oh, Benton must not be intelligent at all. If others can listen and just immediately ask one question, and now Benton's made to appear foolish. Meanwhile, anybody can appeal to the fickle feelings of the peanut gallery. They're easily persuaded, like that courtroom scene from Idiocracy. That's no accomplishment. Well done, bozos. Let's still be in Tennessee. The way these people are driving. I mean, this is bad. They don't drive this bad in Virginia. This is bad. This is why we leave early. That's what I'm going to tell the company. If they try to bring up, well, why did you start your clock so early? Because these people driving in these areas are morons. That's why. And sometimes the only way to socially engineer these morons is to drive slow as fuck. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. They merge onto the interstate at 48 and then they go 90. I don't know what they're doing. Then they catch up to me and they slow down and block me in for no reason. I don't know why they do it. It's probably all the meth. But again, these are the people who cannot exist in a proper society. It's not possible. I went in the truck stop earlier. These people can barely fucking walk at this point. I mean, when was the last time y'all went and really took a good look at the gin pump here in this, Nazi fucking war camp or prisoner of war camp? I can't even walk into the truck stop and physically go into the bathroom because the person walking out of the bathroom has no spatial awareness and their feet don't fucking move. So all I can do is start doing the little penguin dance like they're doing to be able to maneuver around them. Meanwhile, I guess they work there, and instead of going out the way I'm coming in, like 99% of everybody, they're actually going back the other way because they work there. So now they're looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm expecting them to make a right turn, but they're making a left turn. It's like, oh, I'll just go stand over there. Sir, I'll just go put my nose in the corner until just tap me on the shoulder when you're done. Because I have plenty of patience. Let me know when it's all clear that I may enter the bathroom. Meanwhile, it's 2:15 a.m. There's nobody around. Why is there somebody in the goddamn doorway of the bathroom the moment I'm going in? Why is there somebody coming out? It's the realm attacking. That's what it is. The realm is guiding and steering and operating these people by proxy. That's not a human being at the level of, no, it is a human being. What I am is human being plus all these other things, plus all these other layers. See, that's what I am. They're just garden variety human being, which is really nothing to write home about. It's not grand. It's not wondrous. It's nothing to behold. It's not positive. It's not, oh my God, every human is precious. No, not really. Not really. No. Sorry, that dog don't hunt. Not based on the penguin dances I observed. They can't fucking walk. How are they going to do anything else? They're old, they're decrepit, they're broke down, and they're about my age. Give or plus or minus 5 years. They're about my age. Now, the women aren't that way. It's the men or the males. And yeah, not everywhere. I've been to Los Angeles. I've been to many parts. I've been to the whole country, actually. But in much of the country, especially the people who think that they're running the show by, again, heroically through Trump, they think they're in charge now. And the people who can't get through 2 sentences without talking about the liberals, right? You better thank God for liberals, because the moment a Joseph Stalin type takes over, eventually they're going to line everybody up and they're going to say, we need y'all to, as fast as you can, walk across this football field, and whoever can't do it within a certain amount of time is going to be executed. And these people who heroically think they're running the motherfucking show by extension through Trump, they're going to find out that they can't even walk across a goddamn football field in an amount of time to not get executed by a authoritarian, dictatorial, whatever you want to call it. You can call it capitalist, you can call it communist, you can call it fascist, you can call it whatever. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's a motherfucking meat grinder. It's a motherfucking meat grinder. Right? So now here's Benton. I just start mimicking whatever they're doing. Okay, I guess I'll do a little fucking penguin dance to whatever I got to do to teeter-totter my way into the bathroom. Right. Then I leave the bathroom. There's another one. Another fucking penguin dance, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, from one foot to the other foot to the other foot, like a fucking bobble doll. I shouldn't say bobblehead. The whole thing's a bobblehead. I'm looking at it like, well, I'm 50. I've still got my fucking agility. Where did y'all ever have it? And again, not you, the listener. Did they ever have the ability to even move their motherfucking feet? Like in some of these environments, I don't feel like I can take one step without just completely disrupting whatever these other people are trying to do, because they don't have the ability to plan out their path based on where I am and what I'm doing and where I'm likely to go. The fact is, man, in 1998, most humans could walk around an environment without bumping into each other or having to just stop and wait for each other to go by. That shit's over with. It's over with. It's bad out here. It's really bad out here. So I don't blame the people, who said fuck it at a certain point and just decided that they're not going to leave their homes anymore. Hey, good. Enjoy yourselves. I'm glad you got it like that. Good for you. Please enjoy. Who wants to go out here into this? It's so undesirable. So go find power. And where's the power and meaning in that? Right? What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? I was in Walmart, and they got the people pushing those carts around, doing the shopping, so the people can pull up and pop their trunk and get their groceries loaded up for them. Because they don't want you in that store, folks. And, historically, the people who did those jobs were women. And the women, by and large, still have the capacity for a locomotion. And they're, a lot of them's on Adderall or God knows what. And they got a little pep to their step. Well, now, I guess people are getting so desperate for jobs, and more people are staying the fuck home and they don't want to go in. They've gotten the message, oh, okay, y'all don't want me in the Walmart? Well, I don't want to go into the Walmart. They've gotten the message. So now it's like some overweight, non-athletic, dimwit bozo who's about 35, 36, 37 in Tennessee, one of the most backwards, impoverished, ignorant, unimpressive states there is. And I'm talking about the people. Well, I'm from Arkansas, so believe me, I'm not saying this to insult Tennessee. He's a fat boy, probably not on the meth. Maybe he, again, I'm not going to suggest that anybody become a meth user, but in the long run, certainly not a benefit, but in the short run might help this fella out. So he has no focus. He has no concentration. He can barely do this job in a vacuum, right? At what point is Walmart going to figure out, oh, we got to set up an obstacle course out in the parking lot or something. We got to put these horses through their motherfucking paces. I don't think this guy would have made the cut. So I can't even walk down the aisle because this guy doesn't understand how to process the cart, his own physical body, the space that he's in, the space he's about to move into, and my physical body, the space I just came from, and the space that I'm occupying and where I'm likely to go. He can't process all of this. So next thing you know, I'm just standing there looking at him like, hey, man, what are we doing? And he's standing there looking at me like, why are you in my way? But he's not like a rude person who thinks he's better than me. I've experienced that in California, where they just look at me like, why, like, who the fuck do you think you are to be in our way? And I say, out of the way, peasants. That's what I say to them. I say, out of the way, peasants. No, this is not that. He's not lording it over me. He lacks the ability to do the most basic of tasks. He can't work at the Amazon warehouse. They probably, now the fact is they would hire him at the Amazon warehouse, and then they would fire him 2 days later via the app. They'd be like, yeah, man, you spent too much time in the bathroom. And they wouldn't even give him a reason. But, you know, the app would start saying, hey, you know, you can't be in the bathroom that long. And then the app would say, hey, man, like, you're not moving around the environment quickly enough. And then whoever the manager is would take one look at the fucking statistics, and they wouldn't even bother to give him a coaching. It'll just, next time he logs in to check his schedule, it'll just say you've been terminated. Now, I don't know if y'all know this. That's how they roll at Amazon now. The app just, and you know, most of these states is on an at-will basis or whatever. The employment is it's shift by shift. The person logs into their app and they think they're scheduled. It's like, oh, yesterday we told you to be here. Today we're telling you you don't work here anymore. I don't know what to tell you, partner. I've seen police body cam videos where some of these people freaked the fuck out because they thought they worked at Amazon. And especially the black folks, culturally, they think, oh, well, you can't tell me how long of a bathroom break I can take. Oh, yes, Amazon can, and it's going to. It's going to tell you on average you've got 3.25 minutes. You got 3.22 minutes to be in the bathroom or whatever on average. And, you know, based on your last 7 bathroom breaks, you're out of here because we already put you through the coaching. And, you know, now it's decision day, partner. Sorry about your luck. And I've seen the body cam videos where some, you know, Gen Z black lady was like, well, I'm on the schedule. And she just, because she's got some determination, she's got some grit, she's got bills to pay, she might be a single mother. She's just showing up to work. And yeah, she understands intellectually on some level that when she logged into the app, she's no longer on the schedule for fucking ever. Try again in 6 months. Oh, yeah, we'll bring you back in 6 months and let you start over from square one. Sure. No problem. And they think they're just gonna, oh, we're gonna grit and determination our way through it. No, you're not. Get the fuck out of here. The corporation don't give a fuck. The corporation lacks the circuitry to give a fuck, ma'am. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Get the fuck out of here. Where's the power and meaning in that, slave? And you know, I hate to sound like another particular content creator in the so-called truth community, in the space, as they say, but you know, that is an appropriate label at a certain level. It's a motherfucking slave, and I don't mean because she's got black skin. Benton here doing business as white nigger coolie, lest we forget. Don't let the white skin fool you. It is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. Partner. And I thought, oh well, it probably won't. By morning, it probably won't be hurt. And I woke up, everything seemed fine, meaning I didn't think about it. It never came to my mind. And had some chocolate, and I had my hot drink, and I thought, oh, my fucking tooth hurts. Could just be the iodine, though. The iodine makes it hurt in a good way. Either way, I'm just whining now. And see, here's the problem is the individual, because of the psyche that's been designed by Moloch's machine and installed within Moloch's machine, and it's being operated by proxy by Moloch's machine on behalf of Moloch's machine in service of Moloch's machine. See, there's power and meaning. Based on what? Lack of power, lack of meaning. Because antithesis says, well, if we have a being who's apprehended or in possession of Nancy Pelosi's MS-13 spark of divinity, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. That is power and meaning. And the realm understands, it has to understand implicitly that the realm is lack of meaning and lack of power. Well, in seeking to usurp, overthrow actual power and meaning, well, it must install this psychology and operate the being that has the potential to operate and express based on true power in the context of delusion, because the delusion itself, the delusory realm, introduces the concepts of time, space, location, place, because other than that, they don't exist. The mere potential. And now we're into waking dreams, surrealistic, unreality, deja vu all over again. These things can never be real. Time can never be completely real. Space can never be completely real. Time, space, location, place. It can never be wholly real. That's not possible. It ain't possible. At least not in the context of this level of heaven or hell realm, but this crossroads, it doesn't work that way. This place don't work that way. Observably, I'm speaking to experience, folks. Oh, well, Benton what? Describing experience sounds like this or sounds like that. Okay, fine. That's what you say. Who cares? Why would what I am be concerned with how something sounds in a crossroads heaven or hell realm? And you can get the being can go to the underworld or to the heavenlies from here. They say, what do you mean, Benton? Well, isn't that the Christ story? Came down from the heavenlies to the crossroads. This place did to it whatever it, the Son of Man, the flesh, all of this, the dead flesh, and then executed for sedition, and the next thing you know, traveling the underworld, right? The Egyptian underworld. Ha ha ha. So yeah, as below, so above. You know, if we want to talk about that, well, maybe so, but this is the middle. This is the middle ground crossroads. So yeah, okay, maybe as above, so below. In a context, there must be context, right? We'll muddy the waters by removing the context. What are we talking about? We're not talking about anything. Without context, we're not talking about anything. So, oh, well, that sounds like nihilism. Okay, well, if you want to have a conversation about nothing, then while Benton's on his way to properly applying context, just go ahead and start accusing him of sounding some type of way so that he can't ever properly apply context. So that the conversation remains in the realm of no thing, which is lack of what? Something. Which is what this realm wants to uphold. This realm wants to honor and uphold the achievement of no thing or lack of something. And now the spirit of what I am is on its way to applying context righteously and appropriately. Oh, well, let's accuse on behalf of antithesis and the lack of meaning, the lack of substance, the lack of intelligence, the lack of creation, the lack of life. Let's accuse of how something sounds. And until beings bootstrap within themselves, mind, body, and spirit, to be able to say, yeah, so what? Who cares what it sounds like? There's nothing old Benton can do to help anybody. The life you saved may be your motherfucking own. Well, I've saved mine in a way. Yeah, this tooth is fucked. Clearly, we done fucked up. Done pushed my luck too many times. Pistachios. What the fuck is wrong with you, sir? What the fuck is wrong with you? You think you can eat pistachios with your broken ass tooth? Is you crazy? And then, oh yeah, sure, we'll chop them, we'll smash them with a hammer. Yeah, right up until we don't, and we'll go right back to chomping on them. You know, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop? Crunch. Well, thankfully, I'm one of the pain don't hurt motherfuckers, so I guess it'll be fine. I guess it'll be fine. Just a moment. The royal we is now addicted to caffeine yet again. So getting a bit of a headache. Need to drink some of this cold brew, which requires a knife to open. And we see now the reason for all of these accusations. It's the positioning. It's the two cards in the No Limit Texas Hold'em poker game of incomplete information. You know, the spiritual war thesis or proposition versus antithesis. An antithesis has to overplay its hand. It has to. It doesn't have a choice because it has the weakest possible hold'em. It has to overplay its hand. It has to attack, 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 attack. It can't do anything else. It cannot bide its time. It can't look for a better spot. It has to always push the envelope. It has to always attack and put the other side on the back foot. So that's where we get to, well, that sounds like nihilism. Okay, fine. I'm your huckleberry, or maybe it is hucklebearer in a world of death. I guess it is hucklebearer. But anyway, I'm your huckleberry. Let's talk about nihilism, right? Something about no possibility of meaning, objective meaning, right? Objective meaning. Okay, well, this is a delusion involved in, so there's a context, this realm, this world, that's one of your contexts. And if you observe these so-called debates and discourses, you know, look at the context and look at the lack of the application of context and specificity. And so it's not even Benton as intelligent necessarily. It's Benton as stubborn, vigilant, and disciplined to say, well, okay, that's great, but old Benton is going to force context every little step of the way. We're going to talk within a context. We're not going to change the context until it's acknowledged that we've changed the context. And this is going to be done in a way that's going to make everybody's head hurt. And it's going to be excruciating. And everybody's going to hate it. And that's what must happen for the individual to bootstrap. Because to externally bootstrap and to go produce and serve a vacuous, delusory, adversarial realm of business transactions in the context of money and Moloch's machine and graven imagery, and we only measure in money, and money as God, right? Oh, we're going to do all that, and that's going to be excruciating and painful, and it's going to make our heads hurt. Oh, we'll do that in service of the thing that enslaves. Oh, we'll do that on behalf of the thing that enslaves. Sure, we will. The royal, not the royal we. The individuals, the NPC normie bozos, oh, they will do that, no problem. What they won't do is be tolerant of Benton utilizing that same mechanism of excruciating, painful, you're making our head hurt, you're overthinking it, you're reading too much into it. Well, you know what never overthinks and never reads too much into anything? This corporate structure. No, it runs the being through whatever gauntlet it feels like running the being through, and the being fucking pops too. The being does whatever the being has to do to get that check at the end of the week or the end of every 2 weeks. And says, yes, a boss, thank you, boss. Yes, a massa, thank you, massa. It doesn't ever tell the boss, hey, boss, you're making my head hurt. You're overthinking it, boss. You're reading too much into the situation, boss. You're making too much of this. No, that day never comes. Oh, but old Benton, he's attacked. He's gaslit. Oh, you're reading too much into it, Benton. This is excruciating. You're making our head hurt. Yeah, because you won't make your own heads hurt. Because Benton's already ran himself through this gauntlet time after time after time after time. Do you really think I haven't applied all of these excruciating, headache-inducing processes to myself, within myself, on behalf of myself, in service of what I am? Are you crazy? How else is the being going to defeat Moloch's machine? Where? Within myself. On what basis? On behalf of what? In service of what? See? Context, context, context. So we have the context that the realm offers, which is time, space, location, place. Time, space, location, place. Time, space, location, place. Time, space, location, place. Here, now. Here, now. Here, now. Can we focus? No, we can't focus because focus is context. Focus is context. Focus is disorientation, because the moment Benton can apply context based on what agreeably exists, because we can't have a vacuous, delusory, adversarial realm of business transactions. We can't have a Moloch's machine, industrial and post-industrial society. We can't have a system of employment and a system of money without context, 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 context. Well, now we have a framework that anybody can utilize. Anybody can utilize context because it's here and it's operating and it's being acted upon. On what basis? In service of what? And now we say, oh, well, Benton, your questioning, your performance sounds like a thing that everybody agrees is invalid. Oh, you mean nihilism? You mean solipsism? Oh, well, now there's a consensus. Oh, it can't possibly be that everybody's motherfucking mistaken. It can't possibly be that the NPC normie horde has rushed in and normalized the idea that nihilism can't ever be valid within a context. Oh, it's not possible to have nihilism within a context. Why? Because the lack of objective meaning across the board sounds ridiculous. I agree, it does sound ridiculous. That's why nobody's applying context. Dummies, morons. What kind of moron comes to a place like this, a crossroads, and a middle ground, and says, yeah, I'll sign off on your idea that there has to be an objective meaning? That's all we're saying is, we're not saying there's no such thing as a lack of objective meaning. What we're saying is there must be objective meaning. Of course there must. Are you crazy? Oh, well, now Benton is discoursing in a way that sounds like nihilism. Okay, that's what you say. So motherfucking what? Who cares what it sounds like, dummies? Philosophers, you're going to talk to me about philosophy? Correct philosophy is the absence of incorrect philosophy. Oh, okay, well, that sounds like solipsism. Oh, okay, I guess there's an NPC normie horde of bozos that have all signed off on the idea that nothing whatsoever can be tolerated or allowed to sound solipsistic to a bunch of bozos who can't tell their ass from a fucking hole in the ground. Great. Meanwhile, the system sends everybody to a building called a school or MEPS or a military facility, and it gives them all a armed services vocational assessment battery, and everybody gets ranked based on percentile, and some of those beings score in the 99th percentile. You're listening to one who scored in the 99th percentile 20-something years ago, 25 years ago, 25 years ago. Yeah, Benton was a bit of a late bloomer. Right. And I only point that out to say, I don't know, man, who can probably vigilantly track the details and apply context ruthlessly and unerringly to a greater extent than most of you. In fact, virtually all of you. The 99th percentile. So if 10 people listen, I am that one. If 1,000 people listen, 999, then I'm still that one. How many listeners do we need before there's even anybody else in that 99th percentile? I don't fucking know. It's mathematical. At a certain point, there'll be more than one of me in the 99th percentile. For the purposes of this discussion, it's me and it's the rest of you. It's me and it's the rest of you. Sorry, I don't make the rules. What I am is the law. What I am is the rules. Sorry. It is what it is and it ain't what it ain't. As it always is. As it always is. So what we're saying is there has to be objective meaning. There has to be. There cannot be in a vacuum an across the board lack of meaning. So now we get into, okay, meaning. Where, how, on what basis, in service or what, of what or whom. Context. And what you will notice is many, if not most of the folks who want to participate in a discussion will never, ever provide a context. They will always wait for the other side to provide a context. And then they will mock and they will ridicule and attack the being before the being has the ability or the opportunity to apply the context. That's to appeal to the fickle feelings of the peanut gallery, like the courtroom scene from the movie Idiocracy. That's what that mechanism is. And I've seen otherwise intelligent people do it repeatedly. Repeatedly. So, what locations exist in this realm? I would suggest, and what is the reason for considering these ideas? I would assert that the reason for considering these ideas in the first place is to benefit what? To benefit whom? Why, where, and on what basis? To benefit the royal individual, the individual royally, an individual, the proverbial individual. You, me, them, they, but only ever individually. Why? Because almost everybody agrees this realm, which I refer to as heaven or hell realm, which makes sense if I think about this as a crossroads, meaning if you say as above, so below, that's two places that can be accessed from here. You can get to both from here if there's any validity whatsoever to the Christ story. Now, why would Christ come here and do things that I can't do? Why would Christ come here and do things that you can't do? What sense does it make in providing an example? What would be, now we're talking about power, folks. What would be the reason? Why would the being come here and perform things that you yourselves are incapable of performing in your own way, on your own level where you live? Parabolically, did not Christ speak in parables, teach in parables? Wasn't that a thing? Parabolically, if that's even a word. Who knows? And so part of intelligence is, if the being hasn't developed oneself to the point to be able to track these layers and details abstractly in their own mind, as Benton's now doing, they must do so. Why? Well, I'm going to get to why. Maybe. Or not. Who knows? This is all entertainment. None of this is going to amount to a hill of beans anyway, lest we forget. They say, well, Benton, you're talking in circles. Perhaps, right up until I'm not. Right up until I'm not. It's like, yeah, we're watching a street magician, and he's doing a bunch of bizarre hand motions and strange, redirection right up until he says, "Is this your motherfucking card?" And poof, out of your asshole, magically that is your card, and wow, yeah, right up until he fucking miracled your card out of your goddamn asshole, then yeah, it was just a bunch of circular, foolish nonsense. Now, wasn't it? Okay, sure. What's the relevance of that? As long as at some point I'm like, hey, is this your motherfucking card? And it is. Two of hearts, two hearts that beat as one. I need you. I need you. Lies. Deception. Currency of this realm. Money itself exists as what? Lies, debt, lies, substance, lack of substance, passing itself off as substance. Oh, look, it turns out $1 represents 1 unit of debt. What else do you need to know? The currency of this realm that passes itself off as value is in fact representative of lack of value. What else do you need to know? Oh, look, the supposed, thing that teaches morality and leads to salvation, it doesn't pay its taxes, and it tells you to pay your taxes. Is it authority or is it lack of authority? Is it substance or is it lack of substance? It's right there, folks. So-called common sense, which is not a thing, clearly. How could it be? If you need the smartest person that sounds the dumbest, a fool who talks like I do, the bodhisattva of the bayou, to tell you, how lost are you? How lost indeed? That's what I used to tell them Californians, discoursing and speechifying and preaching in the streets of Los Angeles. I said, it's pretty bad when the person who was sent down here to tell you all this sounds like me, looks like me, acts like me. Here's your side. Here's your side. I'd like to come down here to this street corner, and there was Californians down here already on the case, already speaking. But there's not. Because a Californian can't behave this way and still pass themselves off as a proper Californian. Now, can? Nope. Nope. Surely not. Most assuredly, it cannot be so. Mm. Oh yeah. So yes, back to nihilism and objective meaning. So we have two locations. Keep it simple, stupid. Oh, and they talk about, it's a binary and duality, the duality of man. Supposedly everything exists in duality except air quotes so-called God and all of this. Okay. Two locations. Internal, that's you, or that's me, or it's that fella over there. Individuals, internal, or it's everything that's not internal. Everything. Any other person, any business, any institution, any location, all right? Any entity, any phenomenon or phenomena, any group, any collection, anything whatsoever that is not the individual. That's internal. That's a location. Now, let's skip to near the end in a way. I'm here to tell you there is no possibility for the individual to grasp or wield or express power whatsoever except within themselves. That's a location. So you can talk about power till you're blue in the face. Where? Either inside or outside. Okay. Pretty please with sugar on top. Describe to me under what conditions can Benton wield, access, work with, and utilize power anywhere other than inside himself. You can't, because it does not exist. Because this is a delusory realm and it's illusory. And how can a dead demonic delusion also have power? Through the subversion of the creative force of what I am, it can seemingly have power, but only in an animated death warmed over way. So yes, if I want to express individually as a lover of death and pretend like animated death warmed over is representative of life, and I'm willing to join a NPC normie horde that pretends like dead things are expressing in a living manner. And if we call that power and meaning, then yes. If not, no, no, no. Do you see the context? Do you see why the realm will do everything it can to stop you or me on our way to applying a context within a context within a context within a context? Because it can never stand up to that, because at some point it's going to have to flip over its cards and you're going to say, wow, it was holding 7 deuce all along. Exactly. And as long as you get to the showdown, actually not even a 7 deuce, a deuce and a 3, if we're talking no limit Texas Hold'em, it can't even beat a 7 deuce depending on what the community cards are, right? So let's forget about it. Let's go 5 card draw, right? I don't know, whatever the lowest possible hand is in 5 card draw. That's what this realm is holding. In fact, this realm, I think it probably accidentally mucked its own hand already. It's trying to convince you that it even has cards. It don't even have a poker hand. I mean, actually, in actuality, it's the lack of a poker hand. But the analogy only gets us so far. It's not perfect, certainly. But we'll stick with Texas Hold'em. We'll just say people think of 7 deuce as the worst hand, so we'll just go with 7 deuce. Right. And hold, because that's what most people. Texas Hold'em. So the discussion always operates based on a context or a filter of we've got two locations, internal and external. Every little aspect of all discussions is in that context. It's either internal or it's external. 100% of the time, no exceptions. No exception. It's either my internal space or it's everything that's not my internal space. So if it is representative of meaning, I know where it is. It's inside of me because it's not out there. How do I know? Because I looked for it out there. Haven't you looked for it out there? Are you continuing to look for it out there? How many of your problems can be traced back to attempting to find meaning anywhere other than inside yourself? Let's get real, people. Get real with yourselves. Quit being a pussy. Suck it up. Grow a sack. Right? How about access some intestinal fortitude and face the reality that you most likely are continuing to seek meaning outside of yourself, are continuing to believe the lie that it's possible to one day have power outside of yourself. No, it's not. Because if so, why haven't you made it happen yet? Why has it never happened? They say, oh, well, it has happened. Okay. Let's go ahead and go through the examples, and I will shoot down each and every one and explain to you, well, actually, that was on behalf of the system in service of the system for the system's own purposes. It just let you think that you had power. It let you think that that was meaning. It lied to you like it always does. It let you believe some shit that never was true. So yeah, I understand that people might believe that they've experienced power and meaning outside of themselves. They haven't. No, they have not, because that's not possible. Now, yes, if you can't tell the difference between death and life and fall for animated death warmed over as I used to, well, you might mistakenly believe that power and meaning are accessible outside of yourself. Yeah, through death, because the realm itself is seeking to disprove the validity of life by replacing it with death through the subversion of the creative force of what I am. That's what's happening here, folks. So I can always bring the attention back to, yes, but what you are saying is representative of external power and meaning is in fact dead. And I know that because whatever you're referring to traces its origins to this world of death and game of lies, therefore is a lie, and therefore is and also is dead. Because this life does not contain the possibility of bringing forth anything living whatsoever. This world cannot give birth to anything that, strictly speaking, can be said to live. Have you considered my servant Job? Antithesis must have something to act upon. It must have creation and ever expanding life. What I am, the most super intelligent power, source, and force of life, never had a birth, never had a beginning, and therefore will never experience death, or it will never know an ending, or it will never know defeat. It will only ever experience the victory of what it is. That's its nature. It's right there in the story of Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk. It's right there. Now, if the being has yet to develop the intelligence within themselves to work with all of these various contexts and these various ins and outs, not my problem. Get on my level. I'll cheer the level up. I'll be like, yeah, good job. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I'll never stop, because what I am doesn't know how to stop. It is perpetual motion. It's what it is. Always expanding, always growing, always evolving, always changing, always experiencing. And this crossroads is the place where Antithesis or inverse or opposite gets to influence via subversion within delusion. That's what this is. That's why there can't be meaning outside of you, because you only get to experience in this place as an individuation, if in fact you are what I am, and that's quite the leap to assume that. But if you're here listening to this, perhaps now that most of the spiritual attackers have been ran off, now that high level demons have been shown to be foolish, because the word of God went out of my mouth like a sharp sword and cut them down to size. Then they had to run back to the boss man and report on their yet another defeat at the hands of what I am. That's how that goes, people. That's how that goes. So perhaps it's, me and two or three or however many more are gathered in the name of what I am, Christ consciousness. Or at least that's part of it, but I don't want to get sidetracked. Focus is required. So life is only ever where? Inside the individual. What's outside of the individual always? Death. At least here in the crossroads. I guess it's different other places, or is it? I don't know. I haven't been to those places, or if I have, I'm not aware of it. But Benton, I mean, the performer in the context of the performance. So power and meaning are only ever internally located. So now we have, okay, on behalf of what or whom, for what purpose, what reason, why, who, what, when, where, how and why, and all of those questions. Well, it's all about me. Let's see. Oh, that sounds narcissistic. Okay, fine. Who cares what it sounds like? So life internal on behalf of what I am. See, what I am, one with the most super intelligent power, source, and force of love, creation, authority, justice, this realm. So everything external to that within the context of this realm is what? Lack of life, lack of meaning, lack of substance, lack of power, lack of authority, lack of creation. And the realm is making an enemy of what I am is also seeking to supersede and replace all of those things with the lack of all of those things, to actually pass death off as superior to life, to pass off unreal as real. So, so if you want to talk about synagogue of Satan, you want to talk about a particular group, and you want to talk about uh, Israel, right? Israel. Well, to seek to pass off, and apparently that means seeker, right? Or has a connotation with seeking. It's to love death and to pass death off as holy, to pass evil off as holy, right? This idea of a tabernacle and a temple and all of these things and the holiest of holies. Again, synagogue of Satan. That's all inside of what I am. The holiest of holies exists within me. The only accessibility to the holiest of holies would be within me. The kingdom of God is within you. That's a location, folks. And now, of course, theologians will say, well, no, that's a mistranslation. It means among us. Bullshit. Yeah, the Bible's got a lot of problems, but there's a reason why the KJV in the English language specifically says the kingdom of air quotes, and I'm adding the air quotes so called, the kingdom of air quotes so called God is within you. Bear with me, we're having to socially engineer what's most likely a drunk person from trying to a drunk person with a headlight out, whether they know it or not, trying to hide behind my trailer. Now that they're in front of me, they can't maintain their speed. So I'm trying to get them away from us. Unsuccessfully. Yeah, they're fucking drunk. Or they can't see one, too. Or both. And I'm telling you, the people who are trying to get me to hit them is up markedly. I mean, it's getting bad out here, folks. And that's one of your highest economic indicators. The frequency and how strongly other drivers try to get me to crash into them. The things they begin to start to do to try to get to be able to get a settlement. It's way up. I mean, big time. And then there's issues around the being stupid little feelings, their weakness, their folly, where the being will be like, yeah, but I don't want to live in a world where there's no possibility of external power. I mean, well, who cares what you want? Who the fuck are you? You can accuse me of nihilism till the cows come home. I don't think it's important what I would prefer. It is what it is, man. I mean, meaning it's a so-called truth community. I'm what I'm discussing here is what is and what is not. Why would I concern myself with how I feel about these realities or pseudo realities? Trying to get to the heart of the matter here, courageously, right? Moving through discomfort, moving through pain, moving through disorientation. Oh, I don't want to live in a heaven or hell realm where death is seeking to supersede and replace life and everything's horrible. But the being has a creative force and is free to pretend by creating. You can think about the darkest of human dark ages that we're told were, these periods of time in the past. I guarantee you there were people there bright siding that shit and gaslighting the people who were like, man, this is fucking horrible. There was people going, suck it up, Buttercup. Hey, I'm a suck it up, Buttercup type, but I'm telling you to suck it up, Buttercup, inside of yourself to grasp your own power on behalf of yourself. Right? What's the point of coming here and going to all this trouble and doing all of these things, struggle, strife, pain, in service of what? Moloch's machine? In service of what? The bozo NPC normie horde? Fuck them. Fuck Moloch. Fuck Moloch's machine and fuck the NPC normie horror. Fuck them. Fuck the government. Fuck the corporations. And fuck everybody on some level that ain't me. Fuck them. Everything that ain't what I am, fuck them. Have you considered my servant Job? Meaning, if he is what we are, he's finna show and prove. If he don't, I guess he ain't what we are. And if he ain't what we are, fuck him. We never needed him. We never knew him. Fuck him. That's his problem. Because if he is what we are, he's the highest of the high. He's the most authoritative of the authoritative. He's the highest value of the highest value. Or he's the highest of the high value. And if he is, everybody's about to see it. And if he's not, everybody's about to see it. So fuck the dead government. Fuck the dead corporations. Fuck the dead people. Fuck them. If they won't reach inside of themselves and suck it up, buttercup, and figure it the fuck out, who needs them? Fuck them. We never knew them. They never had any value in the first place. It's either no value or it's supreme value. Every knee shall bow. Make the tree good or make the tree rotten. This is the crossroads. This is the middle realm where it's all murky and the waters are muddy. Now we see through a glass darkly, right? Oh, let's just remove context, and anything that attempts to apply context will attack it and mock it and ridicule it. Unless it serves the system, of course. We'll all apply the context of the IRS tax code to one another now, won't we? Oh, we'll apply that context. Or, hey, we'll apply the context of we need you to go out here and be productive to pay for everything. With what? A debt instrument? In a realm in which money is supposedly representative of value, a unit of value, and the realm itself says, well, actually, it represents a debt of $1, but then that's a value. That's a substance. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I hope they come and get me and say, hey, buddy, where's your taxes? I don't know. You want to have a look up my rectum? Damn near killed them, and maybe it's up there somewhere. I don't fucking know. Render unto Caesar, let the dead bury the dead. Oh, you want some debt instruments? Seems to me like Caesar's the one that's all about debt and death and destruction. Did you talk to the criminal? Why are you here bothering me? Did you talk to the criminal? Go talk to Satan. Go talk to Antithesis. Go talk to Caesar. Why are you bothering me about taxes? Death and taxes. Well, there you go. Oh, look, $1. That's a unit of value. What is it? Okay, what do you mean value? Well, it's actually a debt. It's a debt instrument. It represents $1 or 1 unit of debt. Oh, okay, a lack of substance, a lack of value. Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay, now I get it. So you want life to serve lack of life, and then if Benton uses the money, right? That's actually a violation because the government is going to say, well, we're the merchants of death. Everything dead belongs to us. Render unto Caesar, let the dead bury the dead. So you're going to have to pay the piper, buddy. And I'll just say, I guess you're right. All I have to offer you in this moment is the dead body. Would you like the dead body? Habeas corpus, anybody? Show you the body? Okay, here it is. Son of Man style. Take it. It belongs to this place anyway. So what value is it to me? It's dead. What I am represents life itself. How can I be concerned about my tooth hurting? Right. Oh no, poor baby. And most people don't have the gumption, don't have the grit, don't have the balls, don't have the stones, don't have the cojones because they're not warriors. Most people ain't warriors, but they're in a spiritual war. Okay, well, that's not my problem. Shing! Put on the whole armor of God already and wielding, right? Manifesting, bringing forth the power, authority, and meaning of the so called Word of God, which goeth out of the mouth like a sharp sword. No, it doesn't mean written Bible, Christian. It can't ever mean that. Go read Revelation chapter 13, I believe it is, and tell me that that Word of God means written Bible. So the written Bible went out of God's mouth like a sharp sword? What are you talking about? Huh? Shing! What I am, well, you'll think it's Kill Bill, man. It'll throw a Bible up in the air, do one of them, you know, kung fu movie fucking jump in the air and do a fucking roll, do a spin through the air and slice the Bible in half and chop the head off a demon all in one fucking stroke. The scripture's dead words on a dead page. That's what scripture is. Dead words on a dead page. Because it traces its origins to this place. It can't ever represent life. Scripture's dead. So the word of God can't ever be written Bible. That doesn't make any sense. It has to make sense. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, but we want to listen to the preacher. We want to listen to the church. We want to do what the church says. Exactly. Because the being has no problem going to an organization that doesn't pay taxes, and that same organization tells you to pay its taxes. That can't ever be proper. That can't ever be righteous. It's not possible. The thing that doesn't do what it tells you to do can't ever represent authority and righteousness. Not possible. It can't happen. The money can't be representative of substance and life and simultaneously represent an instrument of death or debt. It can't be both. It's one or the other. Render unto Caesar means let the dead bury the dead. In my flesh, is it worth exactly what value I'm willing to put on it? Still here. Got to stop for a bathroom break. Trying to figure out where to do that. About derailing the discourse while maneuvering through these bozos who are making my life difficult. Not my life, but making my job difficult when it shouldn't be or doesn't have to be, because they can't operate what they're doing properly because they're not capable of it. That's why there can't be a proper society, because individuals aren't capable of it. They can't participate in a proper society. So you can't have a proper society and the individuals are incapable of operating within a proper society. Both things, you have to have both. Bear with me just a moment, if you would. Excuse me, pardon me. Oh, man. Oh, goodness. Old man noises. And a lot of these issues for individuals can be traced back to they've been told so many lies so consistently for so many years that it's nearly impossible for them to release themselves. I mean, really, it's to release oneself. What process of grieving, you know, what, how great would that process of grieving be, to just let it go and to realize, yes, in fact, the people who claim to love you, right, your community, your own family, right, the people you know and have interacted with in however many years you've supposedly been here. Basically, everyone and everything has been lying to you pretty much every moment of every day for the entirety of the experience. It's a tough. That's a tough one, man. It's a tough deal. That's tough. Yeah, I agree. It's tough to realize that. Very difficult. So what? Lots of things are difficult. So what? What's easy? What's not difficult? Let's name the things that aren't difficult. Or that maybe if they themselves are easy, require a lot of difficulty to be able to use, right? And then to recognize, oh, wait a minute, as a human, the human defaults to wanting to join groups and wanting to be in a herd for safety and security. That's what the human wants. That's a desire, right? A dead desire of the dead flesh. What I am doesn't know anything about that. What I am, again, is one. See? Yeah, it sucks. I agree. To me, that's narcissism, is this idea that because you were born and I was born, and, you know, life is so precious, in that to be in a body, right, and to be a so-called human being, that equals life, right? I don't see it. I see lots of people in a body that are human beings. They're not alive. They're animated, death warmed over. They're not. They're not alive. They're not carpe diem, right? Seize the day. They don't have vigor and vitality, meaning they don't express it. Right? And many people, especially the youth, they can't hear me because of the forcefulness of my presentation. They can't be yelled at, meaning they can't process. They won't process. They'll just think, oh, look at this guy yelling. He must think he's really doing something. Yeah, they can't process masculinity, right? You know, historically, a lot of what has been considered masculinity has involved going into various organizations like the military and getting fucking yelled at. I'm not saying that's proper or correct. I'm saying that, you know, to refuse to engage with something because it's forceful, that's a lack of masculinity. It's to say, well, no, it's to reject the forcefulness, right? And in some way, that is an embrace of death. It's an embrace of lack of vigor, lack of vitality, lack of life. And well, we'll call it stoicism. Oh, look, we'll gaslight and trigger, and you know, especially somebody who's experienced a lot of trauma, and then when they start freaking out, oh well, then you can just accuse them. Well, they must not be secure. They must not. Yeah, they say they're masculine and all of this, but now look how they're behaving. Right. Okay. Well, yeah. Look at how they're behaving. That doesn't confer any of those. It doesn't turn the other person into Marcus Aurelius. It doesn't work that way. Meanwhile, and we saw this with Pac-Man Jones when he went on that podcast with Matan. If anybody knows who that guy is, and Matan triggered the fuck out of him. And then half the people in the comments wanted that to put, oh well, look at here's your, you know, your secure masculinity and all of this. If there was a war, or if there was invaders, or if there were banditos, or if danger presented itself, Pac-Man Jones would run at the danger and start beating the fuck out of the danger. Matan would stoically stand there and get slain or taken captive or fucked in his tender little ass. That's what would happen. But the people in the comments want to go, oh, look, this guy's, he's supposedly so tough and played the NFL, and look at him freaking out and acting like a bozo and chimping out. Yeah, except if the shit really went down, now you'll see what you're looking at. Yeah, you put Pac-Man Jones in a world in which, you know, he's expected to be civilized, right? And he's supposed to present a certain type of way. And then nerds get to troll him, right? And he's been traumatized. They murdered his father right in front of him when he was like 8 years old, right in front of his house, right? And he's been dealing with that trauma every day since. And you got Soft Baton, who's you know, is free to act fearlessly and all of this. Right? And that's all fine and good until the rubber meets the motherfucking road. And I'm talking about spiritual war. I'm not talking about physical war. I'm talking about spiritual war. Right? Let's go a year into an actual breakdown of society and check in with Pac-Man Jones and check in with Baton and check in with Benton and see how everybody's doing, right? And see who's freaking the fuck out and who's stoic, right? Let's do 9 months of the siege of Stalingrad or Leningrad. I get them confused. Let's go 9 months into living some version of that. The daily bread ration is 100 grams of grain, and it's pretty soon it's half of that sawdust, right? You're literally burying dead. Let's see let's see who's stoic and who's not then. Oh, it's a Nazi psychological experiment out here with trauma and satanic ritual abuse and trauma-based mind control and all of this. And oh no, look at him, look at the boomer, the triggered boomer freaking out. Oh, okay. Because you can't snap a football and have a collision and motherfuckers running full speed, right? And there's old Pac-Man Jones out there doing it, but to some degree better than anybody's ever done it at times. Right. That's a very specific thing. And then, why? Because he's not Marcus Aurelius, right? The philosophy of Stoicism. Fuck Stoicism. What I am ain't stoic. Are you crazy? In a world of death and a game of lies, what I am is going to be stoic? Are you crazy? Stoic. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. A human being is supposed to be disturbed when disturbing things happen. It's part of the dead flesh. It's built into the human. You're supposed to be stoic when the shit goes down. Now, like I said, I promise you, when the invaders come, Pac-Man Jones is going to take one look at the invaders and he's going to run right at them. And on the way, he's going to pick up whatever there is to pick up, and he's going to swing it at them because he's a warrior. That's what he's going to do. Baton's going to stoically stand there, get captured, and fucked in his tender little ass. Stoically. Is he going to be stoic when they're running up in him? See? I don't know how stoic he's going to be when that's going on. You're going to have to kill Pac-Man Jones. You got to kill him. See? Motherfuckers don't know what this is. They don't know what this is. They have no fucking idea what this is. None. No clue what this is. Again, I'm not here to tell people what to do. I just lived in the streets with nothing. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. I did that. So in some ways, I know what this fucking thing is. A little bit more up close and personal than most of you. So what? So what? So I go into a warehouse in Connecticut or wherever, and the guy's in shorts and a t-shirt and looks at me in long pants and a hoodie and says, "Are you cold?" I don't know, buddy. Let's ship you off to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and you can pitch a tent in somebody's backyard and mostly stay outside. You can walk around for warmth, and you can go inside the library to some extent, although probably they're going to ban you from the library. That's what happened to me. But yeah, you're going to spend most of your 24 hours outdoors, and then you tell me, am I cold? That's what I did. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it wasn't Connecticut winter. I woke up one morning, it was 0 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know. I've been outside, been in a tent all night. Whatever. Oh, yeah. Like 10 nights I went to the Salvation Army fucking emergency. Meth heads have to run outside and smoke meth right before they go to sleep. Okay. And I just watch them repeatedly run outside to go smoke meth. And then it's like, well, are they going to sleep? I don't know. What is this? Or are they going to be up all night trying to steal my shit? I don't know. Whatever. Or ship them down to Austin, Texas, and live outdoors. That's what I did. Slept in a field in the wintertime. And yeah, it's mostly above freezing, but yeah, there was at least 4 or 5 days where it never got above freezing. And I got picked up for day labor by some insane person with a personality disorder who, part of being homeless is not understanding necessarily that, oh, some of these people are just looking for prey and thought I was prey and showed what he was. At the end of the day, number one, thought he was going to try to cheat me out of my wages he promised me. And tried to say, oh, well, you didn't actually do much today. So I was supposed to get $100. And he's trying to give me 50. I said, man, I don't need your $50. I said, why don't you keep it? I said, I got more than $50 in my wallet right now. You just keep that shit, partner. That's what I am. I said, no, you keep it. I don't need it. If you're saying I didn't earn, if you're saying I'm not entitled to my 100, and now you're trying to say, I don't think I did $50 worth of work. You're right. How about you just keep it? Meanwhile, you're the boss. If you want to drive around and run your fucking mouth all day, that's your business. How can you blame me? I'm the employee. And thought he was going to have me housed up in his fucking shop or whatever. I said, no, man, drop me the fuck off. And he's just looking at me like, really? It's 20 degrees. I said, really, motherfucker? I'm going to go sleep in a sleeping bag on the fucking ground. Now, we didn't say it, but that's what it was. Yeah, I could have went and slept in what I presume was his heated shop. Fuck him. And fuck whoever sees me in a hoodie and long pants in Connecticut and says, are you cold? I don't know, motherfucker. I grabbed my shit and told a guy to stick $50 up his ass when I was homeless and took my happy ass to a field where I laid down some cardboard and a sleeping bag and went to motherfucking sleep. And people say, weren't you cold? I say, you're not really cold when you're in the sleeping bag. You're cold when you got to get up and take a piss because they don't know nothing about it. Now, it ain't cold when you're in the sleeping bag if you got proper sleeping gear. The cold is when you got to get out of the sleeping bag to take a piss. That's when you're cold. Or God forbid, take a number 2. And whether people know anything about that or not, who cares? Don't know, don't care. But trigger me all you want and act like you done something. Okay, that's fine. Here's your sleeping bag. Here's your cardboard. Go sleep in a motherfucking field tonight. The low is 17. Have fun. We'll see how much sleep you get. Now let's do that for a week. And we'll check in and see who's stoic and who's freaking the fuck out. Bitch. When a person's put themselves through that and didn't have to, they learn a little something about themselves. They learn a little something about what's inside of them. See, what do you think these bozos like Matan with his big podcast knows? What do you think he knows about himself? Not much. And that's fine. I didn't know much about myself at his age either. That's fine. And good on him for talking shit to Pac-Man Jones, who has multiple of times assaulted the fuck out of people, and just said, well, if I can do the time, I can do the crime. Which in America, if you can do the time, you can do the crime. Pac-Man Jones knows if he's got the money and to hire the lawyers, and if he's willing to deal with the legal ramifications, he can absolutely go upside Joe's head. So yeah, Baton did show some level of courage. Yeah, I respect that on some level. Sure, why not? Now, I don't know what was going on off camera. There's probably bodyguards right there to rush in and save his ass. Who knows? But either way, Pac-Man's probably the quickest, most agile person on the set, even at 40 something. Probably do a little bit of damage before they physically stop him, right? Meanwhile, I'm a pacifist. I don't have any desire to hurt anybody. But I'm in that world. What I am is in that world. You think you're going to go live in the streets with nothing day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year? Well, that's called subjecting oneself to what this world has to offer at the levels of safety, security, protecting one's valuables, right? Being one's own bodyguard, all of these things. I've lived it. I know it. I know what it looks like. I know how it manifests. Yeah, if I can live outdoors in the winter in Fayetteville, Arkansas, I can probably live indoors in the winter in Connecticut, I'm pretty sure. But guess what? If I live there year round and it's warm, I'm probably going to put a hoodie on because I like wearing hoodies. I like wearing long pants. Why wouldn't I learned long ago, if I go into certain buildings, it's going to get cold as fuck in the summer because they're going to crank the AC. Oh, I'm in the library. It's cold as fuck. Yeah, I brought my hoodie. I brought my layers with me, even in the summertime. I brought my, I'm at the casino playing poker. I've got my hoodie if I need it. If I happen to be, it's cold in here. Yeah, I know. That's why I brought my hoodie. Layers. That's how it be like. Looking at the clock, I'm trying to figure out if I have time to go to Walmart and stop for fuel and not risk being late for this delivery. I don't have to go to Walmart, but this would be a convenient time. I don't have to get fuel right now, or on the way, but it would be a convenient time. And I could still hit traffic at some point. I don't know. Probably don't. So yes, power and meaning only inside of me or you, an individual or the individual. Outside, no power, no meaning. Now the system certainly operates based on power dynamics. That's a very different thing. I'm talking about your access to power. Now, the realm lies to you and tells you that you have power that you don't have. And it lies and pretends like the people have power and talks about power to the people. The people have no power. Collectively, they don't have any power because individuals would have to develop themselves enough to be able to trust other individuals enough to collectively do the same thing for the same purpose, meaning to refuse to do what the slave system tells the being to do, or all the beings. So that's how the system's able to dictate the conditions of employment, because the workers refuse to develop themselves to be capable of trusting one another and getting on the same page to say, okay, we will not do our jobs until these conditions are met. And the systems of government, the systems of employment, the systems of this world of death and game of lies, that's all it understands on some level. In that context, it doesn't know what you're talking about when you make signs and do a protest. It doesn't know what that is, meaning it can't act on that. It knows the meaning of, Moloch's machine has designed it to operate within an industry and to achieve certain objectives. It knows the meaning of the workers have failed to show up and perform their tasks for the 5th day in a row. It knows exactly what the meaning of that is. That's a very specific language. And I'm here to tell you, individuals are not capable of performing something like that, which would be representative from the perspective of the system. It would represent power. But because individuals don't understand and can't work with the power within themselves and the meaning within themselves, they can't trust each other and work together to defeat whatever it is the system is making them do. So therefore, the individuals are collectively enslaved to the system because of their own stubborn, rebellious failure to access and bring forth the power and meaning that is within them based on what they may very well be. And antithesis gets to say, well, I guess they're actually not that thing, because if they were that thing, meaning supreme authority, justice, life itself, power, meaning, would they not bring it forth in such trying times? Would they not? And what I am would have to say, yes, you're absolutely right. Of course they would. So I guess we never knew them in the first place. Or antithesis says, well, I knew them. I knew exactly what they were. Thesis, you're the one that's mistaken. And thesis will have to say, well, fair enough. I know what I am. I thought I knew what they were. And in the context of delusion and individuation and externalities and internalities, I guess I was wrong. Thank you for considering what I believe to be my servant Job. Now I know. Much appreciated. Every knee shall bow, make the tree good or make the tree rotten, better hot or cold, the lukewarm is spat out of the mouth. And everybody, via the quality of their performance, shows exactly what they are and what they are not. And there's nowhere to run to. There's nowhere to hide. There's no group to hide in. There's no herd to hide in. Sorry. And this place cannot be fixed. It cannot be reformed. It cannot be addressed because that's not what this place is. This is not the place for that. This is the crossroads. Some go up, some go down. Some go to both places. Christ goes everywhere unchanged. Christ goes everywhere unchanged. Because what I am can't change in that way. It can't change in a way of becoming less than what it is. Now, maybe it can. See, and see, I'm speculating. I don't know. Maybe it can. Maybe this is where energetic forms get to choose if they want to degenerate or if they want to continue to quicken the spirit, vibrate ever higher. I don't know. I don't have all of those answers. I have all of the answers that Benton needs within Benton on behalf of Benton. That's what Benton's working with. Y'all get sort of the leftovers of Benton for his own purposes on behalf of Benton, sort of working his way through these ideas and, getting things settled in his mind more or less every day, right? After first praying, of course, which I don't even like that term because it sounds exactly like P-R-E-Y, but whatever that is, whatever, it's affirmation, really. It's just sort of an acknowledgement of these truths. Reminding that spirits here, and he's going to be today what he was yesterday, right? One with, by, for, and with the power in the name of the Lord Christ Jesus. By, for, and with the power in the name of the Lord Christ Jesus, in service of what I am, in administration. Back again. So from this crossroads, Christ went to the underworld, came back to the crossroads, and then ascended to the heavenly, thus showing you what could be possible from here and providing something of a commentary, I would assert, on what this place is, the nature of this place. And then Christianity and Moloch's machine and all of these systems want you to buy into this idea that this is on some level all there is, and this is the place where power and meaning are said to exist and live. and you need to go out here and perform and bootstrap and contribute, right, and not be a burden, see, and make rich people richer and serve the system and keep things moving. And then your reward, right? Well, if you do everything the way you were told to, it's after. So beings who won't trust their fellow man and woman they'll just trust that there's an afterlife like they're told. How is that trustable? What are you talking about? Huh? What? Why would I trust that? Oh, because some human beings wrote it in a book 2,000 years ago in a language I don't know how to read. Supposedly. Oh, okay. Oh, but don't worry, because it was divinely inspired by, air quotes, so-called God. Oh, okay, well, there you go. Great. Wonderful. I feel better now. Yeah, I'll go ahead and trust in that. And if somebody will trust in that, they will trust in the government. They will trust in their fellow fallen man and woman. They will trust in industrial and post-industrial society. They will trust in Moloch's machine. If they will trust in religion, they will trust in all of these other things as well. Of course they will. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they trust the money? As they're told, hey, this is value. This is the thing to have. This is what it's all about. And it represents $1 of debt. Oh, okay. Makes perfect sense. It's the lack of value, the lack of substance. And then, oh well, the church, they'll help you raise your children and teach you and your children proper moral values, and they'll be there to counsel you through the hard times, and you'll have community and fellowship. And that organization is a corporation signed off on a corporate structure and a corporate system within the government. Oh, but separation of church and state, it's registered with the government, and it doesn't pay taxes, but tells you to pay your tax. Oh, okay. Makes complete sense to me, and hopefully you detect the sarcasm. So whoever follows that and signs themselves up for that and raises their children as if that is authoritative and real, well, that's to treat blessing as if it were a curse. Right? That would be to treat blessing as if it were a curse. Speaking of curse, I'm going to sign off and beat myself up and do a little self-flagellating around my own ridiculous folly of thinking I could eat pistachios without properly processing them first. And then I'm going to hope that my tooth stops hurting by tomorrow. And it probably will. Thanks for watching. Bye.